What's going on? Welcome to Podcast Under Review. Happy Wednesday. Some new faces here. We were here last week, so welcome again. We're your guest hosts. My name is Blake, and this is David, and we're here to give you all the raw, authentic sports hot takes. Let's get it. We're going to be doing some analysis. We're going to be talking about Week 3 this past week in the NFL. David, I'm excited.
Let's go. I'm ready.
Let's do it, man. So with that said, we are going right in. David, you ready, bro?
I'm ready, man. I'm ready. Let's get this thing kicked off.
Let's dive in, man. Let's dive in. So with that being said, bro, Week 3, how are you feeling just overall about the NFL in Week 3, man?
Week 3 was a roller coaster ride from 1 o'clock to 8, especially with the Las Vegas Raiders. But there's just a lot of talk about these amazing 50-point Miami Dolphins that I think we should tap into. The Miami Dolphins absolutely hung it up on the Denver Broncos.
Bro.
Not expected with Sean Payton being there.
The spread, did the spread cover?
It covered by 44.5 points, literally. So I just think the Dolphins absolutely conquered both ends of the football, running for 290 yards within a committee football running back squad is just absolutely incredible. Shout out to the young boy back there behind the mic. My God!
Shout out to
McDaniel. I love him as a head coach. I love what he's doing with Tua and the team. I mean, to run for 300 and throw for over 300, that's 600 accumulated yards. That is 6 football fields of just straight terror,
bro. We can't fast forward past that.
No.
The Dolphins gained 6 football fields in terms of yards.
One running back had 200 yards.
Bro, can we talk about
Shout out to Devon Achney.
Shout out to Devon Achney, man. The boy out here.
Just a dog.
Absolute dog, man. They were having their way. And I think it was the 6th-string receiver, Robbie Chosen.
Yeah.
Caught a 65-yard pass.
That's insane.
From the backup quarterback?
I don't even know what the Denver Broncos into the second quarter knew what to do in double or single coverage. They were just so lost. Remember you were mentioning the picture about how they were after Mosur, I think he had a 60-yard rush, 70-yard rush, and the entire Denver Broncos team is there just accumulating bodies flopping everywhere all over the football field.
Bro, the picture was 6 bodies on the floor, one person diving out of bounds as the running back is running up the field. Just an absolute mess. I want to ask you a question, bro. How do you think the Broncos' plane ride home was after a 50-point butt whooping?
I don't think anybody wanted to speak to Russell Wilson. That's one. I don't think Sean Payton had breakfast with him the following morning. And honestly, man, this is going back to the score of this game. Sure. I mean, 70-20.
Yeah.
Had the respect of not kicking a field goal, not getting any more points, and just looking at them right in their eyes listen, I'm the underdog. I always has been, and I'm not anymore. Wow. You know? So, I mean, to put up, a 90-point football game, 70-point on the home team. I mean, I think it's 1965 the last time someone won with this type of margin.
It's absolutely insane. And just to think, 2 years ago, the Broncos did not even interview Mike McDaniel, who grew up in Colorado, was a ball boy for the Broncos, one of the most brilliant offensive minds under Kyle Shanahan, right?
Yep.
They didn't even interview him.
Yep.
And he's like, listen, I'm going to hang up 70 on you.
Yep. And 70 is what happened.
And
they didn't take their foot off the gas, which I love going into future weeks for Miami betting and Miami choices. We'll get into that in a few minutes, but
sure.
I love Miami moving forward. I think their chemistry is on point. They have good on-field and off-field chemistry.
Love that.
Tyreek Hill and Tua are just in a vibe right now with no Waddle. I mean, I think they're holding game.
Absolutely, and that's such a great point. They put 70.
No Waddle.
With no Jalen Waddle, one of their most important offensive pieces.
And not the most star running backs. I'm going to keep it 1,000 with you. There's, Raheem Mostert. I mean, he's a great. They're great. It's a great running back committee. I'm not. I think the offensive line blocked well. I think just the offense took control. Shout out to the offensive coordinator. The play calling was amazing.
Yeah.
The defense just had no answer for the Miami Dolphins.
At some level, like for a team to hang up 70 points, do you think that the Broncos quit at some point? They're just like, okay, we give up.
If they lose to the Bears this week, then yes. If they lose to the Bears this week in week 4 at home in Denver at altitude, wrap it up.
Listen, if the Broncos lose this week to the Chicago Bears, and everybody to listen right now, if the Chicago Bears beat the Denver Broncos, Russell Wilson should no longer be the starting quarterback.
I don't know what'll be worse, the upset in Denver or the upset that happened this week in Dallas.
Oh, we're going to get into that. That was absolutely, I'm going to be honest.
They were in Arizona, but with Dallas.
I think if the Bears beat the Broncos, it's way worse than Dallas losing to Arizona.
Oh, yeah.
What do you think?
Oh, bro, for sure. Especially with that. I mean, the points, it should be
the starting quarterback.
I don't know what'll be worse, the upset in Denver or the upset that had Sean Payton on the calls. I don't see where maybe it's time the Denver Broncos need or whatever the case is, but I think the Denver Broncos should be at least 2-2,
Yeah.
It's unfortunate they have an 0-3 start.
Yeah.
But I mean, they should have beat the Raiders week 1, but it's a downhill from here if they don't beat the Bears.
My last thing about Denver, and you got to ride Denver and like just make a lot of fun about them right now because after that loss, it was just humiliating.
Yep.
Bro, Sean Payton said that it was the worst coaching job he's ever seen by Nathaniel Hackett, the previous Denver Broncos head coach, and they got 70 hung up on them. I think that's a little bit of karma coming back to him because that's taboo to like call out another head coach in the community in the NFL and like try to humiliate him. What do you think about that, bro?
I mean, this even goes up above coaching staff, right? Your front office is so huge. When the players are being recruited and don't really want to be there, it's very hard to create chemistry in a locker room, and even that off the field, because a locker room chemistry is big. It's huge, but man, being able to call it, but hey, let's go grab some dinner. Let's go do this. Something normal. We look at these sports guys as like these, oh my God, these superheroes, and we're not seeing, they're normal men that are going through a daily life like us. Russell Wilson right now has to be absolutely going through the worst mental trauma. Not one of the best, but I would say one of the best head coaches to ever coach the game.
And they look absolutely
And they
miserable.
look like a Pop Warner midget team.
Bro, they look awful.
I mean, and what's even worse is that Russell Wilson had 6 more throwing yards than Tua. He threw for 309 yards.
Right.
It was just a possession of ball time. I didn't really understand the game, but it's wild. I mean, shout out to the Miami Dolphins.
Shout out to the Dolphins.
But that karma is definitely kicking back on Sean Payton.
For sure, man. We were watching the Dallas game. You were upset.
I took the points heavy.
You took the points heavy. I believed in it as well. I want to just mention that. Points meaning like this team's going to win by this amount of points. The spread was at 12.5. We'll talk about it later. But what is your take on Dallas overall? They got upset by the Cardinals.
Losing by 12 to a quarterback who only threw for 158 yards, it requires everybody to do 48 hours in the film room. Because look, shout out to Dobbs.
Yeah.
His jersey wasn't even being sold in the team store.
So Dallas Cowboys fans, you guys lost to a team and a quarterback whose jersey is not being sold in the merchandise area.
I don't want to hear nothing about Daniel Jones and that 40-0. You guys lost to the Arizona Cardinals.
By 12.
By 12 to someone who threw for 158 passing yards. I'm good.
I couldn't agree with you more.
Yeah, the points were a lot. I didn't think that Arizona would cover.
Yeah.
And I certainly didn't think they would double back the spread on the opposite way and win by more than 10 points.
I mean, they kicked their butt.
Just came out with there's a lot of talent required in football and sports and professional athletes, but when you have heart of a lion, that Arizona team came out running the ball hard, throwing in tough lines.
Great point.
I mean, they came out ready to play football.
And can we talk about Arizona real quick?
Yeah.
It's a team that, Kyler Murray got injured for the year last year. To all the football fans watching right now, we all know that we had low hopes for Arizona, low ceiling. Every single game that they've played, so we're 3 weeks in, they have been leading in the game at some point.
Yep.
They were up 28-7.
And covered each spread every single week.
Covered each spread. We were watching the Giants game. We had big money on the Giants.
Yep.
And both you and I were sick 3.5 quarters in.
I'm so happy we took the alternate -2.5 instead of the 4.5 because, my Lord, that fourth quarter was amazing. But just to see, even shout out James Conner. I mean, that boy ran his
shout out James Conner. Yeah,
he was. They came out and showed what fundamental underdog football is supposed to be played like. Heart, no holding back. I mean, the Denver Broncos. To compare a little bit, for you to be an underdog, such a good team, and to play so slow, starting off like that, is the complete opposite trajectory of what the Arizona Cardinals did to the Dallas Cowboys.
Gotcha. Now, do you think that Dallas not having Trayvon Diggs, the star corner, who's big with interceptions, taking risks in the the back end of the defense, do you think that played a factor into them struggling?
I mean, he's one of the best corners in the flat. Let's just talk that out. He's got speed, great open field tackler. I would put it into a factor, but I wouldn't put it into a factor because, I mean, let's just talk about CeeDee Lamb for a second.
Okay? Go ahead. I know you have
I know it's either personal because I had a 7-leg same game parlay that didn't shoot. I had amazing lines, Jimmy Garoppolo over, Devonta anytime, and I had the alternate 60 yards for CeeDee Lamb. He got 53 yards. In both fourth quarter final drives where they didn't complete those touchdowns.
Yep.
CeeDee Lamb got one pass attempt.
One target
in those two drives. He had 53 yards going into the third quarter. And I'm just like, for you to have that name of a star of that caliber, and Dak Prescott should be going off on, with down by 50 or up by 50 on anybody in the league.
Yep.
CeeDee Lamb has speed, explosiveness, the talent.
Yep.
I don't know if there's, back to this whole off-field, on-field thing. I believe these guys are men and they're human beings, So Dallas Cowboys just were not ready to play football. So I would put the Diggs injury in factor, but I really wouldn't because the defense didn't play all that bad. They didn't let up so many yards. The offense just didn't come to play. 16 points by the arguably best team in the NFL or Super Bowl contender. It's just not. It's not. It's not. I'm sorry to keep going into it. The Dallas Cowboys, bro, they have so much caliber. Tony Pollard, they have so many weapons. They should not be under 24.5 points. It was plus 300 for Dallas Cowboys to go under 24.5 points.
Yeah, for them to score 16 points against a team that's in a complete rebuild. They traded
rebuild. They're in draft day still. They're still on draft day, bro.
Bro. So I want to ask a question. So Dak Prescott, right? We both have very strong opinions about Dak Prescott. A lot of America does.
Overpaid.
Completely, in my opinion, overpaid when he got paid, and even now, still overpaid. I think as the Cowboys ask Dak to do more, the Cowboys see that Dak can't do more. It's just that simple, right? They need a strong running game. They need a strong defense. Dak needs to be ahead in games.
I mean, let's be real.
Yeah.
Dak Prescott relied on Zeke a lot for pass protection.
Great point.
So,
solid point.
Not that they miss Zeke, but the Patriots don't benefit more with Zeke. Zeke and the Dallas Cowboys both benefited
from
with
each other.
Him being a power back, and also those last minute blocks that the O-line sometimes fumbles because they were so consistent on having a good backfield for some sort of backfield protection.
I think that's one of the best points we're making about the Cowboys is that Zeke, while he has regressed, he's not as athletic as he once was. Right. Being a running back, your tires tread. You're not as athletic.
Injuries, you have this and that.
Right. You're out. You may gain a little bit of weight. You're not as fast, right? But being able to block and buy the quarterback an extra half a second or
2-3 seconds.
Right.
Man, it's
huge.
It's able to get targets off the CeeDee Lamb, long balls, deep shots. So I just think, there's a lot in play for the Dallas Cowboys, and there's a lot at risk as far as Dak Prescott. We really didn't see him all that well in the Giants game. We didn't really see him all that well in the Cardinals, and we didn't really see him do all that much against the Jets.
It's true.
So,
And this is my thing with I want to read Dak's stat line real quick. Yeah. I'm going to pull it up here. So Dak's stat line for Cowboys against the Cardinals. So he went 25 of 40. So that's about roughly just under 60% completion. Definitely not a great night for Dak. 249 yards, so almost 300 yards. A touchdown, which I think he should have had more against a terrible Arizona secondary, right?
3 opportunities in the last quarter.
And that's where I wanted to get to. They were in the red zone with 3 minutes left and 3 timeouts. And he throws a pick into not double coverage.
Triple coverage.
He's
scared to run the ball. He's scared to move out of the pocket.
Right. And once he sees what he sees, he's not going to move off of his first read. He's not going to go to that second or third read.
And to be honest, what he thinks about coming out of the huddle doesn't really leave his mind.
Right.
He has a target when he leaves that huddle. Right. He locks eyes with Tony Pollard or CeeDee Lamb, and it doesn't you can literally see it at pregame. When they're going up to the line, he's looking at his target, and then it doesn't happen. He's just all deflated. It's like, yo, man, your tight end was wide open, 14 yards downfield.
I'm watching from my couch in New Jersey, and I know who you're about to throw to.
Yeah, I mean, Dallas Cowboys.
Dallas Cowboys rough. Dak Prescott, we truly agree that he's just overvalued. Sorry, Cowboys fans. Dak Prescott is just not it. He's not going to.
Trey Lance.
Let's go Trey Lance. Shout out to Trey Lance. Come on, Cowboys. Sub him in.
2 years.
I want to pick your brain about 2 specific teams. I think they have the same issue. We're talking Chargers. Beautiful, beautiful San Diego, now in LA. Raiders, previously in Oakland, now in Las Vegas. But they got the same issue. They got
their coach.
Their coaching is awful. Walk me through the Chargers and the Vikings, fourth quarter. The Chargers have the ball. It's 4th and short in their own territory.
I believe it was before the 30-yard line.
28-yard line.
4th and I believe 3 or
4th and 1.
4th and 1, going for it, and you're up by 4 points.
Versus
punting the ball 60 yards downfield and let Kirk Cousins just throw a bunch of bombs.
Right, with 2 minutes left.
I don't know. I mean, that's an easy choice on Madden. I don't see where Staley doesn't see that. The head coach for the Chargers.
Sure.
I don't believe where he doesn't see it, especially with Justin Jefferson and that young tight end.
Yeah.
I believe it's Hitcherson. Don't get me wrong in the name. Don't get me correct in the name. He is an absolute beast.
He's a dog.
And he was injured in the second quarter. I'm not going out of the game. We're winning this thing. Right. Unfortunately, they didn't win, but the Chargers cannot be letting those things happen, especially against teams like the Kansas City Chiefs, the Buffalo Bills, the Miami Dolphins, the hang-up 50, rather. Yeah. You can't be going on 4th and 1 with 3 minutes left in the game and not believing. That's showing one thing on you don't trust in your defense.
I know we're filling in for the lovely Danash, and she loves Justin Herbert. Much love, Danash.
Oregon.
But Oregon, oh my God, they smashed Colorado. We'll talk about that in a sec. But it's the Chargers seem to find ways to always lose or almost get damn near close.
Or just put them in scenarios for themselves to lose.
Right.
I mean, if it's any other quarterback,
right?
Because Kirk Cousins is definitely in my top 10 of quarterbacks in the NFL. But if Kirk Cousins, if it was even a Dak Prescott, just kidding. if it was a Tua, if it was anybody else, I believe the Chargers lose there again. Look at what Miami did the week 1.
Right.
So that play calling. I mean, either I don't know who has to speak with Staley himself, the general manager, the CEO, whoever it is in Los Angeles. Stop going for it on 4th and 1 in your own territory.
Please stop.
And you're winning with 3 minutes left.
I mean, and we watched the playoff game last year to rewind time a little bit, where the Chargers were up 27-0. And again, we're speaking to the coaching issues and Brandon Staley, the head coach, Please fire this man. Like, it's hard to call for someone's job, but it's worth it right now when it comes to Brandon Staley.
There's so many weapons on the Chargers. Of course, the defense needs work, but there's so much weapons on the Chargers offense. Yeah. There's no reason they shouldn't be putting up 30 to 40 points a game.
How are you up 27-0 at halftime against Jacksonville and you still find a way to lose in the playoffs? All you got to do is run the ball every play, pretty much.
It's literally like the scene of The Longest Yard where the warden goes to see Adam Sandler. Like, listen, if you don't lose this game, you're going to jail for the rest of your life. That's exactly what that was. Yeah. There was a gentleman who put, I think it was $1 million at minus 20,000, whatever the line, I think minus 3,000 it was for Chargers money line to win, and lost by 1 point to the Jacksonville Jaguars. I don't even... Just even going into that play call, remember that 3rd and 13? Like they're throwing slot options into the flat with 7-yard receptions. It's just bad play calling all over the board for the Chargers. And I know Eckler's on the sidelines or hurt somewhere. Like, my Lord, why am I even here?
Why am I even here? So would you agree that Brandon Staley is wasting Justin Herbert's prime?
Like Drake says, he's a waste man.
He's a waste man. Like, come on, bro. And then let's move to the Raiders. Okay. I gotta preface this. David and I were watching this game.
We took the Steelers plus 2.5 on the podcast last week.
Yep.
We took the Steelers and then rode Moneyline Vegas.
Right. We completely betrayed our own
rules and system. Jimmy Garoppolo, we were talking on the way over here, looked dazed and confused in the fourth quarter.
Yeah, he did.
On concussion protocol now for going into week 4.
But what do you think about the coaching? Because we watched the game, we're like,
I'm going into that right now.
Yeah.
If you have 9 minutes left, I'm not going into the call on the 3-minute mark. How about the 9-minute mark?
Yep.
Don't go for it on the 30-yard line, 4th and 6. And your opponents kick the field goal, get the 3 easy points, play some really solid defense, get your defensive coordinator hyped up, and go into defense with a full head of steam. Get the ball back.
I agree.
If they would have kicked 2 field goals, I don't even know what trying at the point at 3 minutes of kicking a field goal is going back to try and kick the ball off. What does your defense do then? It just puts a bunch of pressure on people unnecessarily.
Right.
I think they're, especially in height of the emotions, like going back to this, people are humans, man.
Yeah.
Play calling is not easy in this league.
That's right.
But kicking a field goal on 4th and 6 at the 30-yard line is very easy.
Especially when you have Jimmy Garoppolo as your quarterback.
Of course. Like, your only target is Devontae Adams. Literally, the Chris Collinsworth was saying it the entire night. Yeah. Okay, Jimmy's target number 1's not going to get the ball right now. And if Jimmy would look to target number 2, he would throw either a pick or a bad pass, or it would be incomplete. Whatever the case was, Jimmy Garoppolo is a 1-reception quarterback, as far as 1-target quarterback, rather than him going out and reading the field like a Tom Brady or even like a Joe Burrow or even like a Kirk Cousins.
Yeah.
These guys come out and they don't just dial in on one single target. And unfortunately, Devontae Adams is the only person there. I know Jacoby Myers back, but he hasn't been getting reps with him yet.
Right.
He hasn't been getting a lot of repetitions and a lot of working with Jacoby. So I just think the Vegas has a lot to do as work on, especially with play calling.
Oh,
and as a head coach to go, oh my Lord, it's just a tragedy.
Yeah, and then you watch the game and it's like it's third. Okay, so first of all, you don't settle for the field goal. Then you get down there with 3 minutes left, not a lot of time.
Then settle for a field goal.
Then settle for a field goal. You're down 8 points. You could score, tie the game up.
If they would have kicked the previous field goal, the energy and emotion going into that 4th down, they would have probably converted.
Correct.
Or scored.
And to take the lead.
Right, exactly.
Right.
And Mike Tomlin's a great coach.
Great coach.
Mike Tomlin's a great coach. Pickett and Pickens are finding, off of Jimmy Garoppolo, Pickett and Pickens are finding a really good chemistry again as far as, moving the ball.
Yeah.
And, it was bad play calling, but on the Vegas Raiders part, but it was a great game for Mike Tomlin.
I can't believe we ignored all of the stats that you and I speak about We bet the Pittsburgh Steelers on week 1 plus 2.5. Just absolute pain. He's one of the best coaches as a road underdog. Yep. And we completely ignored it. And Josh McDaniels is a trash coach. Just absolute garbage.
Like, why are you wearing a visor in a closed stadium?
Like, is it raining on you, dog?
Like, wear a hat. Like you don't need to catch sun on your head. Just wear. Like, why are you wearing a visor?
There's no sun out. It's 8:00 at night.
Exactly.
Right. Well, in that case, it'd be 5:30, but the sun was going down.
And it was a dome.
Yeah, and it was a dome.
So, listen, the Vegas Raiders, it's definitely a fade team moving forward. As far for me, I'm not big on the Raiders moving forward. I want to see their chemistry coming back. I mean, Jacobs looked like every run he was discombobulated. He didn't know what to do. He got up like, wait, am I still in the game?
What did you say when we were watching the game? You're like, Josh Jacobs looks like he's in pain every time he gets up.
He gets up like he's just hurting, like his bones are cringing. But that's what happens when you're overused and only converting 2 yards of play.
And underpaid. He's probably like, just get me out the game. I'm trying to Danash was talking about last week, faking those injuries, trying to get that bag.
For time.
Awesome stuff, man. So let's move to the Jets. Let's take a deep breath.
Are they done?
Are they in trouble? Are they done? I think the immediate answer, obviously.
To even think about Colin Kaepernick. Have you heard what's going on?
Yeah.
They're rethinking Colin Kaepernick coming on to support Zach Wilson.
Colin Kaepernick released his email to the commissioner, to Joe Douglas, the GM of the Jets, on his request to be on the practice squad.
Which I'm not against this.
Right.
Why?
Go for it.
Colin Kaepernick is a very bold human being.
Love it. Yeah.
Just from the whole, I'm not going to get into that right now. Support his ideas, support his movements. I believe it's all for a good cause and for better change.
Yep.
I think Colin Kaepernick would really benefit the team, because Zach Wilson needs some support right now. And I know it comes crazy coming from somebody like that, but when I saw his initiative, maybe he's playing for a future contract or playing for a future position or something.
Well, he sure is doing a terrible job of
horrible. But I think people, I don't know if these sources are reliable, but I've been seeing stuff on different pages and different things that they're actually considering a conversation in an office with Colin Kaepernick.
I love that.
And I think if Zach Wilson can just get comfortable with somebody on the team, Aaron Rodgers is not looking for a phone call with him every night like, hey buddy, how you doing? Like, that's not what that is. He needs that.
Aaron Rodgers is in his mansion in Cedar Grove icing his ACL.
Right, probably doing shrooms or something.
right. Getting high, doing something out there, right?
Just becoming one with the earth and his comeback. But
yeah,
I think Zach Wilson really needs something, because the defense, I'm not saying is superb. They're amazing.
Incredible defense.
They're awesome.
But they can only do so much.
I know defense wins games, but you got to score points.
They
held New England to 15 points with that stupid safety afterwards.
Right.
They just couldn't move the ball. The first opening drives, 1 and 20, 1st and 22, 2nd and 25, 3rd and 22. It's like, okay, it's just, you can't move the ball downfield. You're not going to win football games.
A couple reports came out. Joe Namath came out and said he's disgusted. So the Jets legend that won their only Super Bowl in like 1965 or 68, whatever it was.
And he's still proud about it.
He's still proud about that Super Bowl. Jets fans are still celebrating with their grandparents about their only Super Bowl. Joe Namath said he's disgusted about Zach Wilson, right? So that's
if
terrible.
I was a Jets fan, I would be too.
Absolutely. Did you see that video?
You literally practiced with a quarterback, an elite A-listed quarterback, for 4 months. 3 months?
Roughly,
I know it's not a lot of time, but that's 6 hours a day retaining knowledge from this amazing athlete.
And you can't score 14 points in a game?
You can't come up with let's not be shy here. You can't come up with 20 points in the game when you kick 6 field goals?
6 field goals.
I don't understand.
Zach, if you're watching this, please.
Just give the ball to Cook in the flat or something. Give him a bunch of screen passes. I don't know what it is. Garrett Wilson, listen, I think there's a great receiving core there. There was a lot of tension on the sideline this past week with a 3rd or 4th string running back. I don't know why he was yapping away.
My man was like,
when you have the 3rd or 4th string running back getting absolutely abusive on the sideline in the second quarter,
listen,
the team's not in a good direction.
I didn't see that, but I trust you. Bro, if the third or fourth string running back is barking at the starting quarterback on an NFL team, you have...
He was barking at the iPad guy. The guy got the iPad that brings the iPads to Wilson, bro.
He was telling the iPad guy, please tell Zach Wilson
to watch this play. Give me the ball.
You need to watch film because you are absolute garbage. Johnny Manziel, who didn't watch any film and has probably been coked up for the last 2 years, like Johnny Manziel could probably do better with this offense currently right now. Like,
or RG3.
RG3, shout out to my man.
RG3 reached out on live television for the Jets opportunity, but that's a different joke.
Got denied hard.
But yeah, the Jets got to sit back, get off of the thought of football for a second. Sure. And, we always, as far as a football community, when you play football, I played for so many years, you played young. When you're playing football and you play the offensive line position, you're always told you got to protect your quarterback.
Right.
Always got to protect your quarterback. What Jensen with Tampa did really well with Tom, they created a great relationship with him. I think there's an O-lineman or a defender or someone that is on that Jets team that needs to support Zach Wilson here because, unfortunately, he is your quarterback moving forward. He needs a support system. He needs an open-minded, just somebody there to be his backbone.
And can I be completely honest? That support system is not there. When the Jets last year benched Zach Wilson for Mike White, they all wore T-shirts with Mike White's face on it in celebration of them winning a game against the Chicago Bears with Mike White as the quarterback after Zach Wilson was benched. So there is no support. So this is my thing. I want to ask a question. Do you think that the Jets should trade for Kirk Cousins? They're 0-3.
Minnesota's never giving up anybody to give away Kirk because they know they're not going to get anyone anywhere near him.
And this is, of course, if Aaron Rodgers retires or plays games or whatever the case. I mean, he tore his ACL, for God's sakes. Like, he's almost 40 years old. I know
Achilles.
Achilles, right. So he has an Achilles injury. I think the Jets should try to go all in, depending on the Rodgers stuff.
Budget, man.
I know.
Budget.
Aaron's making a bag.
Their defense is like, don't quote me on this, I believe it's top 2 or top 3 in the league paid right now.
Right.
They're a high paid defense.
Right.
Not a lot of money, but a lot of money went to Aaron Rodgers.
He did take a $35 million
He did take a pay cut.
I don't think you could have Zach, Kirk,
and Cook and Garrett Wilson all in the mix up together.
Garrett's on a rookie contract, but it's just.
They're giving him money. Oh yeah, they're saving money for Garrett Wilson.
Soon enough.
Yeah, they're gonna give him some big money.
I just think if Aaron Rodgers will kind of like fast forward into the future. If Aaron Rodgers is saying, I'm going to retire, right? Let's just say he retires because the injury is too gruesome to recover from. He wants to go do shrooms next summer and just call it a day.
In Dubai.
I think the play for the New York Jets is to go get Kirk Cousins. The guy throws for 4,000 plus yards every single year.
He's going to throw it confidently. He don't care about an interception.
He's going to, like, if you watch the quarterback series on Netflix, I know you watched a couple episodes, he's going to take hits in the pocket. He's committed to his, keeping his body healthy. He knows the game. He's
a tough guy.
He's a tough guy. He's an NFL vet. I think if Rodgers calls it quits, the Jets need to go all in. First, second, third, whatever you got to do.
Give it all.
Give it all with all of the weapons.
If it's not Kirk, someone like him.
They're not paying Dalvin Cook that much.
Right.
They're not paying Garrett yet. They're not paying Sauce Gardner. They're not paying their second corner, right?
But they're gonna pay all these guys.
But you get
they're gonna pay them.
You get Kirk on a rental, 1 or 2 years. We'll trade for you for the last 1 or 2 years of your contract.
He's getting pretty big. He's getting paid big too.
Easy $40 million. Easy $35 million, right? So I think the play for the Jets, if Rodgers calls it or Rodgers is not the same, Rodgers rides off into the sunset, insert Kirk Cousins, Jets make a playoff.
I know this is crazy. If Trey Lance never went to Dallas, Trey Lance would be a great QB there.
Ooh, good call out.
Oh, my God. Him or I know there's a new draft of quarterbacks coming in.
Yeah.
I know this is a whole different topic coming. I'm not going to get too off there, but there's a lot of quarterbacks in the NCAA right now.
Yeah.
Like that boy in Notre Dame.
Yeah.
He is. He's a great great. I mean, he's a Kirk Cousins mentality. He's a dog. He's not afraid to take a hit. He moves good in and out of the pocket. So, I mean, there's some opportunity moving forward. I don't think you reach for the stars on a quarterback to back up Zach Wilson just yet.
Got you. So no go on the Kirk Cousins.
Yeah, wait it out for the Aaron Rodgers.
I'm with it. So another thing in the NFL this week, man, talk about the Kansas City Chiefs a little bit. The Kelce and Taylor Swift combo. All I got to say is shoot your shot.
I mean, shout out to the Kelce brothers reaching new numbers on their podcasts and T-shirt sales and everything. But they're still not the best Kelce Swift duo. I like my boys over in Philly. I like my running back and I like my center. I mean, them boys were running all over everybody in Tampa last week.
So you're picking the Jason Kelce.
I'm with the big dog in Philly on this one. I like the Kelce Swift matchup over there. I mean, they're saying they're just friends. Maybe they're together. Travis and Taylor Swift. I mean, you did your thing there, brother. If you ever see this, you did amazing.
For your jersey sales, like you're just friends with Taylor Swift. What a friend. Your jersey sales go up 400%. Wow. And she's going to the Jets game.
And Travis Kelce's mom is a huge Taylor Swift fan. So, boys
are just winning.
The boys are just winning. And Donna is really the winner here because she's hanging out with her all the time. He's at practice. She's with Donna. He's with Taylor Swift with Donna.
Did you see Taylor Swift like high-fiving the mom?
Oh, yeah, going nuts, screaming, let's go.
Yeah.
Like just going off, which I love. I love when artists come in and bring more attraction to the game of football and just make this thing bigger than what it is. Because football is an amazing sport, as soft as it's getting. I think football is just awesome. But I seeing Taylor Swift become a highlight in NFL Sunday news broadcasting is awesome.
Absolutely love it, man. Absolutely love it. Yeah, I'm definitely team Travis Kelce and Taylor Swift, man. I love to see it, bro. It was awesome to see this past Sunday. And by the way, the Chiefs absolutely
handed it. We don't even got to comment. You guys know exactly what happened.
Yeah.
The entire running back committee scored like twice, other than Isaiah Pacheco. Yeah. Travis Kelce. I mean,
which we rode Pacheco, but it's all good.
Tony caught a ball.
Yeah.
So everything was good there. Yeah. Patrick Mahomes almost got re-injured a high ankle sprain. That was huge.
That was scary.
If that would have happened in a Bears game, me as Andy Reid, I would have been highly upset, and I would have not ate a cheeseburger after that win.
Andy Reid hobbled over his, he
waddled himself over there.
Waddled himself, U-hauled himself over to Patrick Mahomes, and he's like, dude, are you good? Okay? We're up by 30.
You don't have to play. He's like, I'm going back in.
He's like, I'm going back in. You see Andy Reid like, dude, it's the Bears.
We don't need to try hard for this.
We don't need to try hard. So shout out to the Chiefs, just winning on all fronts, man. Boys are just winning. Can we talk about last week's upset picks, man? So last week, for those of you that are watching, we did Dinesh brought us on for our first week. What an honor. Awesome to be here again. Thanks, Dinesh. We love you so much. I said, and you said I was crazy, but I picked the Colts outright to beat the Baltimore Ravens. I want the camera on you right now.
My exact words were, I'm taking every point for Baltimore.
I love your humility right now.
And brother, when we were at the house watching the game with the buddies, and our buddy took a huge live bet, Colts money line, Packers money line, plus 1,800, and unfortunately we put the Colts and the Jets.
Wow.
And I was just watching the Minshew Mania show go down, and just how unfortunate it is to be Harbauer in Baltimore right now, because that upset is just
unacceptable.
I'm sorry. Even if Richardson's playing, I get it. He's a great quarterback, elite player,
good runner, runner of the football. Yeah,
exactly. But Minshew Mania. The Commanders last year with Philly? Is that what we just saw? We just saw he's literally 2 for 2 coming in as a second a backup quarterback, second-string quarterback, and winning the game on a very good football team.
And he's done it in Jacksonville as well, where he was, second string, came in off of an injury, and that next week that he's in, he just goes absolutely crazy.
Yep.
So I loved that pick. Danash literally told me on the podcast last week, she's like, I'm rolling my eyes at you. I was so confident about it. Something clicked, and I loved.
And you had the same feeling for the Houston Texans. The plus 7.5. If you said, if you're a big bettor, take the 7.5 Texans.
I was adamant.
They won by plus 10, I think.
They won by 20 points, 37-17.
That's, oh my God.
It's the NFL. It's like it's our thing is, for anybody watching that does bet or likes to put in fun bets, like, we really don't like when divisional rivals play each other and the spreads or the points to predict to win by are greater than 7 or 8 points. It's just it's not usually, unless the Giants are playing the Eagles, because the Giants are absolute trash. It's really never shout out Danny Jones, man. We love you, man. You came back
We're
down.
praying for those 39 million.
Yeah. But yeah, man, so I really like the Texans. So let's jump into the betting
Let's do it.
Betting segment, bro. I know you got some things up your sleeve for this week. I want to hear it. We're gonna go through each game, and we're gonna pick the winners and the losers. So I'm gonna pull up the games, and I know you got some fire right now for these picks. So we're gonna go through it. So we'll just do a quick run through, and then we're gonna isolate the 5 games that we like for anybody that bets to pick those 5 games, right? So, bro, let's go through it.
Let's do it.
All right, so first game, it's going to be on Monday Night Football, October 2nd. We love the Giants as fans. Giants Seahawks.
I'm taking the Seahawks plus 1 here.
Okay. Saquon's
not playing.
Right.
There's not a lot of committee there.
Yep.
We don't have options for Danny Jones right now. There's receivers that aren't being used to capacity yet in the Giants offense. Not going into names, it's unnecessary, but the Danny Jones has to get comfortable. I'm taking Geno Smith and DK the whole way.
I absolutely love this pick so much. I think for the Giants to be favored by 1 point, to be favorites in the game.
Oh, DK for 125. Put it down. Alternate pass
DK
yards.
Alternate yards, 100+ yards. He's going crazy. Adoree Jackson cannot guard DK Metcalf.
Nobody can.
Nobody.
No one on that
Big
team
dude.
can.
No chance. And he's fast.
He's a unit.
So let's go Seahawks money line. I love that. All right, Lions, Packers. I know we agree on this. Who you picking?
I'm taking the Lions.
Love it.
I know they're favored. Anyone who plays in that stadium in the Green Bay, I mean, it's tough. It's a tough game. I know it's Aaron Rodgers for so many years, and Brett Favre, but I definitely do. I'm taking Detroit here the whole way. I love Jared Goff, no Montgomery, St. Brown. Going.
Go Seahawks money line. I love that. All right, Lions, Packers. I know we agree on this. Who you picking?
I'm taking the Lions.
Love it.
I know they're favored. Anyone who plays in that stadium in the Green Bay, I mean, it's tough. It's a tough game. I know it's Aaron Rodgers for so many years, and Brett Favre, but I definitely do. I'm taking Detroit here the whole way. I love Jared Goff, no Montgomery, St. Brown. Going.
Go Seahawks money line. I love that. All right, Lions all
I don't
day.
know why I've been saying that. Jameis Winston, shout out to you, buddy.
We're going Lions, man. Lions come in. I think they absolutely destroy the Packers. Jordan Love is, I think, overvalued as a quarterback right now. I think I like how he's playing, but I don't think he's really him.
I don't like him playing great consistently in primetime.
Absolutely agreed. Thursday night game, I just don't, which is tomorrow night, so we're betting the Lions big time. Falcons, Jaguars. I'm just going to give you the spread. Jaguars are favored by 3 after losing by 20. We love bounce back games. What do you think?
I think the Jaguars win double digits, clear the spread by a bunch. They're home. This is a week, kind of like a similar team we're going to talk about soon about, getting back into rhythm and using this game as like a pickup scrimmage game, almost as a mentality, and getting back into the rhythm of good football.
I truly believe that if you're in a survivor pool, meaning that you have to pick one team to win for the entire NFL to go to the next week in your pool, you got to pick the Jaguars this week. I absolutely love the Jags. Go Jags. This is a tough one. I was looking at this today. I was perplexed. The total points projected for the game is around 40, 41. We know how that goes. It could be fishy. The spread, meaning the team is supposed to win by this amount of points, is 2.5 favored for the Bengals. Bengals, Titans. Who are you taking?
If I have to pick, I'm going to personally fade. But if I have
Agreed.
to pick, I'm going to take the Titans points at home. I'm just kidding. They kicked my ass last week. I'm taking the Bengals the whole way. Joe Burrow, let's go, Burrow. Burrow football, big Burrow pack. I love Joe Burrow to come back. He's healing up. He's getting into it. They got into a good rhythm this week. I love Bengals the whole way.
We love Mr. Macaulay Culkin.
I love it.
A.K.A. Joe Burrow.
Mr. Jordan Spieth.
Mr. Jordan Speed. Let's go Bengals. We're going Bengals all the way. Okay. We have two teams that are 0-3. The Bears and the team that just got 70 hung on them. The Broncos. Brother, we are not touching this game. When it comes to betting, I don't want to touch it. I don't want to hear about it.
I think you're almost forced to slam the Denver Broncos. The reason why I'm saying this is because if you look at the two teams, I don't think the Bears can ever back bounce from anything.
Yep.
And I'm not even making a joke about it. I know it's funny. I know it's funny, but I don't think the Bears can literally bounce back from anything.
Can we quote you on that on this podcast?
I mean,
like,
the Bears, we'll be here next week and we'll talk about it again. The Bears cannot come back from anything. I'm going to take the Broncos, and I'm going to take whoever's playing them against the Bears at home in Chicago the following week in Week 5. I don't like the Chicago Bears. The Denver Broncos have to get in some sort of rhythm at some point of the season.
Yeah.
And I think this is the game that they do it in.
I absolutely love that, man. I'm going with the Bears. I'm going with the Bears.
Oh, man.
I have absolutely no faith in Russell Wilson. And I want to say that like I want to.
Who do you think is the better quarterback?
Justin Fields.
Brother.
Justin Fields.
I mean, these are the exact conversations we have in private. So we're going to make it public. Brother, that is out.
I'm out of my mind?
Out of your mind.
Okay.
Justin Fields yet hasn't been able to run himself out of the pocket. Why he was drafted is to be a multi-purpose quarterback.
Absolutely. I agree.
Run the ball. Yep. He did better this past week. I don't know how much you want to say better, losing by a certain amount of points, but
30,
he was trying a little bit to get it a little more out of the pocket. Against Chris Jones, I don't think you do that. But, you know, I want to take Russell Wilson here because the experience is there.
I'm going to say, man, it's not as emphatic or not. I'm not as confident about the Colts and Texans as it was last week, as I am in the Bears. But I will say, if you're doing like a 13-game parlay and you just want to have fun, pick the Bears. I think the Bears win.
Bears in the over.
I think the Bears in the over. My gosh, this game is going way. What is the points at? The points
41,
are
right? Gotta
45.
Be. Oof, under.
So I like the under as well, but I do think that Justin Fields comparatively to Russell Wilson is a more dynamic quarterback. I would like to see the Bears run him more. I think the Bears win. Let's move on.
Do it.
Buccaneers Saints. Jameis. How'd you say his name? Jameis Winston.
It's spelled like Jameis. Jameis Winston, my buddy. I mean, from him eating the W in Tampa to now, literally putting his fingers in his mouth for a pregame hype up his team.
Yeah,
I don't think they even come close to winning. The Saints don't. I like where Baker Mayfield's at in Tampa.
Me too.
I like that he looks confident. Yep. I like that he's actually having a little bit of purpose throwing the ball.
The Saints are favored by 3.5 points. I'm taking the Bucks, and this is going to be in our 5-pick segment. But listen, if you're watching, like, you need to understand, if you're doing a fun parlay, you're betting this game, you need to bet the Buccaneers plus 3.5. We're not pros, but I will say this much: that's a lot of points to give a Saints team with James.
And if you take 2 points on top, I mean, I love the 3.5 how it is. I'm going to buy 2 points personally.
Love it.
I'm going to take the Bucks with the points.
Love that. Next game, we talked about this in the car on the way here. Commanders and Eagles. I'm going to talk about the spread. Right now, it looks like the spread is up to 8 points for the Eagles. So the Sharks and the pro bettors are putting a lot of money on the Eagles right now. Who wins the Eagles and Commanders game?
Am I a square for just saying Philly money line? I don't divisional game, how you were saying before. I don't believe Washington has a core offense to be able to put up points like the Eagles can.
Okay.
Now, the Commanders' defense has a lot of power, a lot of explosiveness. I'm taking Philly money line.
Yeah.
If I'm going to take points, I'm going to take the Commanders alternate 3 or 4, just around 10. I do like Philly there.
Here we go. Sound the alarm. It's Wednesday night.
Ding,
the
ding,
Commanders
ding, 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 ding.
beat the Eagles outright. Divisional game, good defense, good pass rush.
So if you're watching this, basically put the Bears and the good old Commanders money line on a ticket and throw $200 at it on a risk-free bet. Risk-free bet.
Risk-free. Definitely be smart. Don't be a dummy. But yeah, I love the Commanders here. I think that the Commanders cover. Like if Vegas gives the Commanders 8 points, I am taking the 8 points 10 out of 10 times, every single time. Love the Commanders here. Think it's going to be amazing. But I like the Commanders to win the game as well. It's crazy. Dolphins Bills.
Well, let's do a little recap.
Go for it.
Last year, one of our biggest beats in the playoffs.
Oh my gosh!
Was when the Buffalo Bills were favored at just as a mighty 8.5 points when Tua almost died on the football field.
13.5 points.
I'm sorry, it was 13.5.
13.5.
Wow, we had the alternate total parlay 8.5. The Miami Dolphins played such a good game. It was Teddy Bridgewater, right?
Nope, it was. I forgot his name. That's how much he's. I think
Teddy Bridgewater got hurt too, and then it was someone else.
The last week of the season, Teddy Bridgewater got hurt. Their third-string quarterback
came up
in
and put up 34 points on the Buffalo Bills.
They put up 31. They lost by 3. They almost won the game. They were almost up by 10 points.
Imagine no Tua moving on in the playoffs.
Listen,
I'm happy Buffalo won that game, but I do think the Miami Dolphins cover the +3, and they're going to come out and play as dogs against the Buffalo Bills in Buffalo.
For the love of God, please take the Dolphins in this game. Even though they just scored 70, I just think the Dolphins are a great pick.
They're not regressing from that 70. They're going to keep it going. They got a lot of momentum behind them.
Absolutely love it. This is a tough one. I'm not going to personally bet this game, but who do you like in the Rams-Colts? The spread doesn't even matter. It's 1 point, but it's who you picking.
I like this new receiver in L.A., and I want to see him grow a little bit.
What's his name?
Nakua
Pokey? Let's go with that.
Nakua, something like that. I mean, I'll go with Jameis Winston, too, or whatever the case is. But I mean, look, the Rams played really well against the Bengals in the first half. Had a potential to possibly win the game. Holding Joe Burrow and the Bengals to only 19 points, I think is pretty solid.
It's amazing.
Now, as far as Stafford, I think he just got to get a little more, intuition with his offense, get Cooper Kupp back. I'm going to take the Rams here, alternate points. I'm going to take them +3.5. I think they do it on the road.
Awesome. I really like the Rams here on the road.
Me too.
I think after Jacksonville just beat Baltimore.
Minshew mania.
I really think that I love the Rams here. I truly do. All right, so we're going to go kind of quick here. Ravens-Browns, go. Who do you think wins Ravens-Browns?
Ravens points.
I love the Ravens here. Steelers-Texans. We talked about this. This will be in our 5-pick segment. Steelers as well. Vikings-Panthers. 0-3 Vikings. I believe 1-2 Panthers. Yeah.
It's at 4.5, yeah?
Both teams are 0-3. It's at 4.5.
Minnesota's definitely going to kick the curveball. We're going to go 1-5.
I love Minnesota. I absolutely love Minnesota. Raiders-Chargers. Who are you taking?
Chargers money line.
Steelers-Texans. What are your thoughts? How are you feeling? What's kind of like?
This is part of our 5. I'm definitely riding the Steelers the whole way. The Texans were not supposed to beat the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Agreed.
Pittsburgh 2.5.
Pittsburgh 2.5. I am totally with you there. I think Pittsburgh blows.
They're being graded off the Vegas game, so I like Pittsburgh 2.5.
Love that. Vikings, Panthers, both teams 0-3. Who gets the first win in their season?
If Bryce Young's playing or if he's not playing, Minnesota money line. Point blank.
Doesn't matter the circumstance.
No, Justin Jefferson, 2-time anytime, 160 yards. There's just this is a game going back to I think the Broncos Chicago game where Russell Wilson and Kirk Cousins are kind of in the same boat here. It's like almost like a scrimmage practice game. They kind of get back in the motion of things.
Love that.
But yeah, I like Minnesota the whole way.
Raiders and Chargers.
Chargers, man. Chargers got to win. They got to prove themselves here, man. They have to. And I think the Broncos Chicago game where Russell Wilson and Kirk Cousins are kind of in the same boat here. It's like almost
think about it. This is a game that I'm excited about. Cardinals and 49ers. The spread is at 14. 2 touchdowns.
Man, I love Brock Purdy. I'm taking Mr. Dobbs. The points. I like San Francisco to win money line. If you're a money line bettor and you don't mind putting a ridiculous amount of money at minus 800 or whatever the line is at right now.
Yeah.
I'm taking Dobbs, no jersey in the team store at the points plus 14.
Let's go Arizona. We love double-digit spreads. We love those 10, 14-point spreads. Let's go with Arizona to cover the points, San Francisco to win money line. And then our final 2 games are going to be, I know we think differently on this game, but it's Patriots-Cowboys minus 5.5. The Cowboys are favored in Dallas, in Arlington, Texas. What do you think?
The points are scary. I like Dallas to win the game outright. I like them to win. I like Dallas to come back off of that tragic Arizona loss, kind of close to home, get back into Dallas, get back into your stadium, get comfortable. Do whatever you have to do to Dak Prescott to win a game, but they definitely beat Bill Belichick on the road.
So I am a firm believer that the Patriots are going to cover the points. And I honestly, as the more I think about it, the Cowboys struggle to stop the run. I think the Patriots run successfully on the Cowboys, and the Patriots cover the 5.5, and I think they win as another upset. It's my 3rd upset of the week. I think the Patriots win outright and cover the points against the Cowboys. Last game, Kelsey, Miss Swift is going to be at the game.
In New York, yeah.
In New York, 9.5 spread. This is Sunday Night Football, 8:20 at night.
Every game Taylor Swift is there, I'm taking the points.
Absolutely.
And Travis Kelce for alternate 60 yards. Go Kelce. I love Kansas City the whole way, points, money line, and the over.
I absolutely love the Kansas City Chiefs. I think that's a great pick, and I think they cover that spread with ease. No, Zach Wilson at quarterback, right? Still?
I think him or Colin Kaepernick, something like that.
Yeah, let's go.
Mr. Wilson is
All
still
right,
there.
so we're going to conclude this amazing podcast. Again, thanks for everybody who's tuning in. Danash, thank you so much for allowing us to be guest hosts. Week 4, 5 picks. If somebody's watching this, David, we're going to go through 5 games that you and I really like, and we want to give you the blueprint for your parlay that we believe is going to help you, potentially win.
Every play is played at your own risk.
Played at your own risk. We truly believe that. So we're going to go with the first game. We talked about it a little bit. It's Pittsburgh versus the Texans. We're riding Pittsburgh minus 2.5
the whole way, minus 2.5 the whole way. I love it. I love it. I love it. Pittsburgh Steelers win by a field goal. I love that. Miami versus Buffalo, one of the best value bets I think on the book. I think one of the best bets that we could We're back in a division game.
We're back in a division game. The Miami Dolphins are essentially.
I think this game is literally the game that defines who wins the division with the upcoming schedules coming up.
Come on.
This game really tells us who's, because I mean they're both going to beat the Pats.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So I really think Dolphins come out with their momentum.
Yep.
Their 70 hanger hook and just literally just run it down the Bills defense throat and just put a bunch of pressure on Josh Allen. You know what happens when Josh Allen's pressured.
So we're both taking Miami with 3 points. We're not going to bet the money line. We're going to bet them with 3 points. Next game, Bucks and Saints. David, I know you have a perspective on this.
I love the Bucks here. You know the value of where those points are at right now. I love the Bucks. I don't see them losing this game, and I don't even understand how they're a dog. But listen, I love Tampa against Mr. Jameis Winston.
Let's go. Seahawks Giants is our fourth game that we really like. We both talked about it a little bit earlier. We love the Seahawks here. The Seahawks win this game. We truly believe, and I think there's great value in the Seahawks being.
Big Kenny and DK Metcalf. They're just gonna have a field day.
There's no answer. And the final game, Patriots versus Cowboys. I know we disagree a little bit, but if you're advising somebody to bet this game, what are you thinking?
Dallas money line.
Dallas money line. So Dallas money line, Pittsburgh by a field goal, Miami with +3, so giving Miami 3 points, and then finally the Seahawks beat the Giants is our 5-leg that we think is going to cash this weekend.
Good luck, everybody.
Thank you, everybody, for tuning in. Much love and peace. Next week, Danash is going to be back on. The lovely Danash will be hosting. So thanks for having us, and much love, man.
Everyone enjoy week 4.
Peace.
Always, never wifey, old bays. And they going both ways. Hot nights, cold days. I ain't fucking no strays.